Over the next 20 years, 73 million baby boomers will die, and nearly $70 trillion will change hands, the largest wealth transfer in human history. Your inheritance, your parents' legacy, except most of you won't see a dime. Because while you were waiting for your inheritance, someone else was designing a system to capture it first. Or, as Finny likes to say, the only thing being passed down faster than wealth is the bill for keeping it. This is that story. Welcome to Finny Chronicles, where history meets money, power meets consequence, and every story is a warning somebody ignored. 1946 to 1964. Post-World War II, America is booming. Soldiers come home, the GI Bill sends millions to college for free, and they start having kids, 73 million of them, the baby boomers. They grew up in the most prosperous economy the world had ever seen. 1960, house costs $11,000, income $5,600, 2 years of salary. Today, house costs $450,000, income $54,000, 8 years of salary. Same house, different lifetime. By 2020, baby boomers controlled over $70 trillion in assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, pensions. And for years, the plan was simple. When they pass, it goes to their kids, the great wealth transfer. That was the promise, but someone else got there first. Like Finny says, they didn't just get lucky, they got timing, and timing is the one thing you can't inherit. Meet Margaret. 76 years old, retired schoolteacher, widow, 2 kids. Owned her home outright, paid off 30 years ago, worth about $320,000. Had a pension, Social Security, about $150,000 in savings. Not rich, but comfortable. Her plan was simple. Enjoy retirement, and when she's gone, leave the house and savings to her 2 daughters. Financial security. A head start. Then she falls. Kitchen floor. Broken hip. Alone for 6 hours before her neighbor finds her. Surgery, infection, complications. 3 weeks in the hospital, $127,000. 6 months in rehab, another $78,000. Medicare covers some of the hospital stay, up to 100 days of skilled nursing, but long-term care, you're on your own. She can't live alone anymore. Assisted living facility, $6,500 per month. Her pension and Social Security cover about half. The rest comes out of savings. Within 2 years, the nest egg is gone. So they sell the house, $320,000. Sounds like a lot, but she needs memory care now. Dementia's setting in. Memory care costs $8,000 to $12,000 per month. Margaret lives another 4 years. By the time she passes, every dollar is gone. That house her daughters grew up in, someone else lives there now and pays rent to a company in Texas. Like Finny says, they called it the golden years. Turns out they meant the price tag. Margaret's story isn't unique. She's the rule. 70% of Americans over 65 will need long-term care. Average cost of a private room in a nursing home, $108,000 per year. Memory care, even more. Medicare doesn't cover long-term care, only short-term rehab. Medicaid does, but only after you've spent everything you own. Between 2020 and 2040, an estimated $10 trillion of boomer wealth will go to healthcare and end-of-life costs, not to children, to hospitals, nursing homes, pharmaceutical companies. The wealth transfer is happening, just not to you. We're building something here, a complete timeline of how money has shaped history and how it's shaping your future right now. If stories like this help you see the game more clearly, hit subscribe. Okay, so if healthcare is taking the first cut, who else is at the table? Let's talk about real estate. Baby boomers own nearly 80% of their homes. Millennials, 43%, and falling. Since 2020, corporate investors, companies like Invitation Homes and American Homes for Rent, have bought hundreds of thousands of single-family homes, not to live in, to rent back to the people who can't afford to buy. Remember Margaret's house? A private equity firm bought it, paid cash, no inspection, closed in 10 days. Now they rent it out for $2,800 a month. Margaret's daughters? They're renters too, paying someone else's mortgage, building someone else's wealth. Like Finny says, your inheritance got bought by a hedge fund and rented back to you. Congratulations. Then there's who actually inherits stock portfolios. Boomers hold trillions in stock market wealth, but who inherits it? If your parents were upper middle class, you'll likely inherit stocks, real estate, financial literacy. If they were working class, the median inheritance in the U.S. is about $50,000. Sounds decent, until you subtract funeral costs, probate fees, outstanding debts, medical bills. You're left with enough for a used car. Meanwhile, the top 10% are inheriting millions, compounding wealth, buying assets, investing. The great wealth transfer isn't creating equality, it's concentrating inequality. Like Finny says, wealth doesn't spread, it compounds and then builds a moat. This has happened before. The Gilded Age, 1870 to 1900. A handful of men controlled almost everything. When they died, their wealth transferred, but not to the masses, to their children, to trusts that kept wealth in the family for generations. In 1900, the top 1% owned 45% of America's wealth. Today, 43%. Different century, same math. Like Finny says, history doesn't repeat, it just changes the font on the same invoice. But here's the thing. The Gilded Age didn't last forever. It ended with reform, antitrust laws, labor protections, progressive taxation, the New Deal. The middle class was built by design because people demanded it. The question is, will we do it again? Or will we just watch the transfer happen and call it inevitable? So here's the takeaway. The biggest wealth transfer in history is happening right now. Nearly $70 trillion changing hands. And the question isn't whether you'll get your share, it's whether you understand why you might not. Healthcare takes the first cut, real estate investors take the second, and what's left goes mostly to people who already have money. The great wealth transfer isn't creating equality, it's concentrating inequality. Margaret's daughters didn't get their inheritance, but they did get something else. They understand the game now. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because, as Finny likes to say, the forest doesn't ask permission to grow. Neither should you. So, here's the question. Did your family plan for this, or are you watching it happen in real time? Drop a comment. I want to know your story. And if you want to understand how wealth has moved through history and who's always positioned to catch it, subscribe to Finny Chronicles. We drop videos like this every second day. Next, see? The con man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice and walked away richer than anyone he scammed. See you then.